Contemplation is the foundation of action. Without contemplation, what we do is reaction, not action. Sometimes action and contemplation are thought of as two opposite things. Except some people, if people feel that if they have to be active, then they can't be contemplative. And sometimes spirituality also is divided into two sides, that there is active spirituality and there is contemplative spirituality. Now for analytical purposes, to characterize a particular path, such divisions might be useful. But essentially, every action requires the foundation of contemplation. Otherwise, what we do is not action, it's simply a reaction. And often it's a programmed reaction that we do not consider, that we do not desire, and that we regret later. The Bhagavad Gita explains that we all are souls who are residing in physical bodies that are machines. So the body is like a hardware, the mind is the software, and we soul are the users. And the body-mind machine is programmed to give certain responses to certain actions. So when we see a tempting object, we immediately get the desire to eat or enjoy that object. When we see somebody who has irritated us in the past, then immediately we feel the emotion of irritation. And this way, we become largely driven by our past programming, and we don't really live as conscious beings who are choosing consciously. So most of our what we call as action ends up being reaction if there is no contemplation. So contemplation doesn't necessarily mean that we leave our jobs and families and go and sit in a cave in a mountain to contemplate the truths of life. Contemplation can also mean just becoming more thoughtful about what we do, recognizing that our thoughts are the basis of our actions, and if we can choose our thoughts, then we can act more wisely. So if, for example, say we see a tempting object that we have habitually indulged in, and then we get the desire to, as soon as we see it, to indulge in it. Then if we are contemplative, then we will be able to put a break between the stimulus and the reaction. The word reaction is often used in biological or mechanical systems where a particular stimulus produces a particular reaction. So we too may become like those mechanical units without any conscious consideration if we do not contemplate. So rather than seeing contemplation as the opposite of action, we need to learn to see it as the foundation of action. And this is demonstrated in the Bhagavad Gita in the most dramatic of settings, on a battlefield. A few places urge for action as urgently as a battlefield. And yet, at that time, Arjuna and ask Krishna questions about dharma, the right thing to do. And Krishna responds by speaking the profound message of the Bhagavad Gita, and then he concludes by calling for contemplation before action. In 1863, he says that, Vimrishchaitadasheshena yathechasi tatha kuru. O Arjuna, deliberate deeply and then do as you desire. So, Krishna is saying calling for deliberation or contemplation as the precursor or the foundation of action. And when we learn to see contemplation positively, then our actions will be better chosen, and they will help us to create a better future for ourselves. Thank you.